All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Not NFT NYC. Man, this is like the best show on earth. All of Us Radio has been hosting this event for 4 years. It started at a hole-in-the-wall bar, I don't know where. We had about, 30, 40 people. And then the next year we actually came to this same exact studio where we took over 2 rooms. Then we made it our way to the World Trade Center. And now we're back here at the theater, bigger than ever, more rooms taken over, a lot more speakers, a lot more alpha, and for once, a lot more Bitcoin. So,
I love it.
I'm fucking Eddie. I mean, there's a lot that's happened. There's a lot going on this year. What are you looking forward to most this year?
You know, that's a big question. I guess what I'm actually looking forward to is happening right now. You know, community members showing up from different groups on Twitter and coming together for an event. That's actually what I'm like most bullish on, and I actually been waiting for this for a minute. I couldn't even sleep last night, man. I woke up at 4 a.m. Brittany's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I was like, "We gotta get ready for this event." So I guess that was my number one right there. We met a lot of great partners along the way, great sponsorships. We got a comedy show for you guys. Board trading codes downstairs.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Fucking Productions in the house. Dank memes, let's go. Rad TV.
Yeah.
We got a lot going on. Laughing Apes.
We're
We're really going crazy, and to be honest, it wouldn't have happened without different communities and members coming together. So just shout out to y'all for being here. And if you guys got your drink ticket, look out for the Bitcoin wallets. Unreal Kingdoms left some seed phrases and silver bars around here. So if you guys find that, that's yours. That's yours. So.
Cool.
One thing for sure, when you first got here, you got a bag. That's because we like everybody to walk away with a bag. Inside that bag is a blue ticket. Your first drink is on us. Just take that to the bar, and they'll hook you up with a drink. The next thing I want to let everybody know is if you are either diabetic or allergic to drugs, do not eat these chocolates. These chocolates will fuck you up. But who is interested? All right, here we go. All right, find me around. Maybe I know where some more are hidden, and I'll let you know. But Britt, please go ahead.
This year, guys, it feels so good to be back at the Producers Club. So thank you all for joining us. This is our 4th annual year, as Laura mentioned. And this year, I think I'm most excited to bridge TradFi and DeFi and have it all culminate together with this amazing audience. And I think it's going to be a really exciting time. We have some great panels lined up. We have some great activations, some premieres, a comedy show, and all of your beautiful faces in the building. So thank you guys, and shout out to you.
There's just one more thing. Every year we start this out. This all started from a spaces that we do, but we were doing it Monday through Thursday called All of Us. And the reason that we started into this space is we thought that there were a lot of folks whose voices may not have been heard. There's a lot of big names out there. Those spaces would be huge. There were a lot of folks who didn't have a space that they could jump up and speak to. And so that's why we kind of came up with the space All of Us, and that's why we develop things like Not NFT NYC. But we start off every year with a chant that goes, all of us,
All of us. All of us. All of us. All of us.
And now moving on, did you want to do shout outs and thank yous, and then we'll talk about the next few folks that we have coming up?
A quick thank you and shout out to our sponsors, because without them, none of this would be happening really at the level that it is. Shout out to Bitcoin Radar, Board Trading Code, Dank Memes, Bucket Production, Laughing Apes, MetaBuddies, Board Bagels, once again, Born Trading Merch, The Clutch, Degen Doses, Everrich Coffee, French Chocolate, Fuse Hounded and Oath, JCS Snacks, Little Ollie, Mutant Infusions. You guys will get to taste them today. NFT Energy Drinks in the house, NFT Philly, Poppin' Foods, Rich Roast, Spirit Punks, and Unreal Kingdoms. A special acknowledgement to Experiment XYZ, Gaming Apes, Rad TV, Trenches the Ape, Aaron Haber, Amp, Beneville, Big Boy She, and Buffalo, Chef Poncho, Code Compiler, Cyber Ape Yacht Club, HD Extracts, Henny, Liz Mejia, NFT Hoarder, Princess Ashley, Sailor Gary, Seal Kim, and Squiddy.
actually gets me excited about TradFi. He was talking about the importance of stable coins way before it became like, I don't know, something that people were talking about on Spaces. So let's give it up for our panelists for the Stablecoin Summer at Bitcoin Beach, headed by Ed Monies.
Let's go!
Yeah, let's go. We got two co-hosts that I need to bring up, Evan and Cameron. Please make the stage.
What's going on? Man, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
This
Got
is
a
about
mic
to be
right there
killer.
for you, too.
What do you know about that? Here, I'll sit here and pass the mic. Yeah? Nice to see you guys.
All right, guys. Okay, so you guys probably are wondering why would I go to the NFT events and name this panel Stablecoin Summer at Bitcoin Beach? And I think a lot of it lends to the fact that all of us are crypto native in this room. Most of us are crypto native, chronically online, and I think that this leads a huge gap in the market for alpha and information. And I think this is one of the few times though that crypto people have a leg up against Wall Street. And so there's a lot of companies going on. As of recent news, Coinbase has hit the S&P 500. Robinhood's destined to get in there. Circle's IPO went crazy. All of these, they're basically saying altcoin season is over and we are now going into an IPO season, right? So if you participated in any of these companies, you've made a bag. And there's a reason why. But before I get started on the rest of this panel and telling you guys how TradFi bridges over to DeFi, you know, I want to give a shout out to my friends right here. I'll have them introduce yourself. I have Evan right here.
Yeah!
Hey, everybody.
He's the host of Rise Up in the Morning podcast and Space, right?
Yeah, we're the most trusted source for live crypto education anywhere on the internet. And though we broadcast to Twitter, we also broadcast to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, and reach all these people who are hungry for helpful information about crypto because they don't trust it, they don't know about it. And it's a real honor to be able to help them tell a better story.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
And next I have Cameron. He's actually OG Bitcoiner, right? But he's actually been in the space. He's in an innovative company right now. It's a streaming company, Web3 streaming.
Cool.
So it's a different market, but you guys can see where this would bridge over. So go ahead, Cameron, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Cameron Portwood. I work for RadTV, radtv.com. We're the only streaming platform that puts all Web3 content on every device. We have apps everywhere, smart TVs. We are the only media app on PlayStation 4 and 5 and PSVR 2. So go search in your app store for RadTV, and happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, brother.
RadTV also will be premiering their real metaverse show later on today. So that you guys
Congratulations.
definitely want to
Thanks,
come in
man.
and stick
That's
around
very
for
cool.
that. It's
We're excited
around
about
5 of the biggest communities. Do you want to
Yeah,
go
tell
ahead?
it, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, so Tony's going to talk about it later. Our CEO will be here, but we're launching a 5-episode mini-series, like a micro drama that has a cool cat, a bored ape, a doodle, a world of women, and a roboto. And it has Hollywood-level animation, and really excited to show it to you all today.
Sweet, dude.
So, starting off this show, I just want to throw a straight question because I know you guys just want to get straight to the meats and potatoes. You guys want to know how to get this money. So my first question for these guys, Evan, what opportunities do you see in crypto, TradFi, stablecoins, RWAs, any of that? What opportunities do you see coming this summer?
Oh my God, there's so many opportunities. The biggest opportunity is probably the opportunity to grow the pie. Meaning, for the first time in history for our space, not only are we legal, not only are we supported in a bipartisan way across geographies, but also social strata. People online are starting to come on-chain or get on-chain assets through vehicles like an ETF. And I saw a really good clip, we're talking about stablecoins, from the Bitcoin conference where it was just CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, panels here, there, everywhere. And it was just all these people going, stablecoins, 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 stablecoins. And that's the topic on everyone's lips. A friend of mine, William Quigley, he's a co-founder of Tether. And he talks very cogently about how more than almost any other instrument.
Wait, they didn't hear that name drop. Who was that again?
Yeah, I didn't mean it like that. William Quigley, he's a co-founder of Tether. And if you don't know his thought leadership, like, he's the co-founder of Tether. So like when he talks, you gotta listen. And he's very generous with his time and his knowledge. And he says, just based on very early calculations, Amazon's probably going to drop a stablecoin. Walmart's probably going to drop one. Anybody anywhere who touches and moves money is going to drop a stablecoin, which means different providers of liquidity, i.e. us, have an opportunity to lend to these platforms to capitalize on what could very easily push the crypto market cap from $2-3 trillion to 10 or 15 trillion dollars at the same volatility and risk essentially as the US dollar. So that's first and foremost, is find ways to, I would say, provide liquidity to that. New stablecoin ecosystems like what Polygon is doing with AgLayer and Agora, those are big plays. PYUSD. Everyone who is here has an opportunity to see what the yield is, see how to get the yield, provide liquidity, and I think that is, if it's something you're not doing now, an easy, low effort, low risk play.
Yeah.
Totally agree with everything you just said, and I think I've been a active liquidity provider for many years, probably to many of you. We had a conversation this morning with a big streaming platform that many of you are familiar with, and they asked us what hurdles we're seeing. And something I've seen for 4 years at RAD is that people really don't they really don't know what money is. Most people don't understand money. So we start introducing these new currencies, all of a sudden it goes up, ETH was at $4,000. So if you're doing the math, which everybody's doing, that you bought something for X amount of dollars, you have some negative energy at a later date because you lost out on that time value of the investment that you made, that you believed in. And we think that has been a hurdle to get transactions and liquidity and volume online. And it's easy for us to sit here and say, oh, it's simple, guys. But it's not simple to everyday people that haven't been building this foundation and this infrastructure for the last 8, 10 years, 5 years, where it's really ramped up. So we're really excited about stablecoins to provide the ability for any normie, no offense to anybody to come in, my mom to come in and make a purchase for USDC and know that she spent $2 and it's worth $2 in the future. It was worth $2 when she bought it. So she doesn't have this resentment about the participation she has online, where she's feeling some value lost and opportunity cost that she's missing out on because she wanted to participate in the on-chain economy. So we think stablecoins are really the foundational layer to bring everybody into this ecosystem. And I think it's obvious what Coinbase is doing, what you mentioned about Pole, the AgLayer is incredible.
Yeah.
I think that's going to provide a massive amount of onboarding. And we need to, something I'm really focused on right now is, as a community lead, I want to stop using the lexicon that we all built this infrastructure with. Everybody in here, I can have a conversation with you and you know all the words I'm saying. But if I go talk to my mom, or I go talk to my brother who's outside of this industry, I say a bunch of words and like, what are you talking? Like, no, I'm not doing any of that. No, I'm not doing a wallet. I'm not approving transactions. I'm not approving that I can get on this website. I'm not doing any of that. It's all creates more questions than it does answers. To us, it's no big deal. But we think this is going to answer a lot of those questions, remove a lot of that lexicon, and it's just going to be you're on-chain, you're participating, you make a purchase, just like I bought this water for $2 and didn't think anything about it. Mm-hmm. And that is the future. That's where we're at in the future. It feels like it's now. And I think Eddie has nailed it, that we have the upper hand right now. And it's a really exciting time to be alive, and really appreciate these types of conversations with people that understand everything that we're saying. We don't have to dumb it down.
That's right.
We have to reverse the stamina we created.
Absolutely.
That's a great point.
You're not buying an asset that's going to grow in value. Your water bottle, you drink it, it's depreciated.
Well, and it's giving velocity to the value you already have. Not just Paul, not just Tether, not just USDC or corporate giants, but every on-chain ecosystem company is trying to figure out, how do we turn people's fiat dollars into an instrument that anyone with an internet connection can send instantly, cheaply, so that they can expand the potential of their value.
Dude, I love that you said that. That gets me straight into my next question. Where are the real world advantages with real world assets being plugged into the blockchain? Do you guys have any examples of where this just works seamlessly?
I don't know about seamlessly. I think there are a lot of on-ramps that make it simple to turn cash into dollars. But a real challenge with other kinds of assets is, how do you establish a provable, infallible, difficult to tamper with connection between a physical thing and its token equivalent? If I have a house and I want to put it on chain, at some level, I've got to trust some kind of intermediary, some piece of technology that is facilitated by a person, by a company, by a government. And I think increasingly that will become simple, but that's the task. Is right now it's a bunch of degenerates, a bunch of on-chain people trading the same liquidity. And the real opportunity is going to be when we get people who are not on-chain into the ecosystem, when we get houses or cars or shares of stocks or our farmland on-chain. And so the people I think of who are doing that work are obviously Chainlink. Instruxy is a company I know that's creating, different kinds of golden threads between something physical and something on-chain. There are institutional players doing this too. And I would say the concern that I have, maybe we'll get to this in a second, but just to tag it, is the companies that are doing this, the governments that are doing this, they have a vested interest in the status quo, the way things are. Circle, Tether, they don't want to share their yield with you because they don't have to. They're insanely profitable. Amazon is probably not going to use a decentralized network of validators to secure their stablecoin. They have their own network. They own it. They control it. That helps them prop up this sort of hegemony, this empire they have built. And so in the future, it will be easy to use Amazon's stablecoin. They will want us to use it. They'll want us to use the whoever partners with the U.S. government, et cetera. But I think something we have to keep in mind is how we can, with our dollars, our time, our attention, and the stories we tell, support truly the decentralized, the on-chain, the solutions that give people the benefits that those companies, governments, entities will deny them, that they will come to demand. That I think is how we grow the pie.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that, and I think we're 18 months out max from seeing stocks on chain in some way.
There are some stocks on-chain now.
I was going to ask you guys
there's
bold
uranium.
predictions.
Yeah,
That's a bold one.
There's a uranium that's out there right now. I just got
Tesla
into that,
is on-chain
yeah.
through Swarm
Yep.
in England, I know.
California put
There's-
42 million cars on chain last year.
Wow.
Yeah, on Algorand, their blockchain.
Awesome. So I think it's already starting. So something Brittany said a month ago on our podcast was being early is often the same as being wrong, and I think that's really powerful. But everybody in this room was early, and I was in Bitcoin in 2012. For 5.5 years, everybody thought I was an idiot, and I was wrong. And my friends in banking were like, this guy. And now, I'm the guy.
Now they're like, this guy.
This guy.
And they're like, man, CanSoft forever. And now they're doing the math of, man, you told me about it 10 times. And the USDC coming on chain is really all we need for everything else to hit. The problem I see is we don't even know how much Bitcoin there is. We can all sit here and make up your number, but you don't know how much has been lost. You don't know how much is never going to be recovered. None of us do. So it's unaccounted for and will forever be unaccounted for. All we know is that the max supply is continuously going down because people are losing seed phrases. People are losing access to things. People are getting robbed, whatever it is. And that is what I worry about with real world assets like, say, NVIDIA or something like that. How do they have built the entire status quo on knowing the exact market cap, the exact value of these things and where they're trading? And how do we equate for that when so many people have lost Bitcoin? Or, what if Satoshi comes back? I know it's crazy, but it changes the dynamics and it's an unknown.
We put about 50 paper wallets out there in some gift bags, anywhere from $4 to $40. If you're an OG Bitcoiner, you probably know how to claim that. But if you're not, you might that thing might get lost, and then those satoshis will never be recovered again. So it's kind of funny. It's an experiment because I won't have your seed phrase anymore. I don't have your private key. So once that paper wallet is destroyed, I laminated them, by the way. So if you guys want to keep them for a long time. But yeah. Question.
I have a question. We're talking about when we came in here. There's Bitcoin. Where is it, the range? Can they be at the ceiling?
Oh.
I was
Where is this money?
Forget stablecoins. Tell me where the money is, Eddie.
I'm gonna leave that for Unreal Kingdoms panel. That's for sure. Those guys will give you the alpha on that. You gotta stick around for that. Okay, so getting back to the topic though. All right, we've talked, for those that are listening, we talked about USDC, we talked about USDT, right? And for those that don't know, USDT is the biggest stablecoin by market cap. USDC is the #1 stablecoin by regulation. If you guys had to choose one that's going to be taking over the pie in the future, what do you guys think? How do you approach that? And do you think USDC may have an advantage because they are backed by BlackRock and regulated in the U.S. and what does that lead to?
I think the United States government is realizing if they don't make a change, it's over. And they noticed that. The change has happened. We've all witnessed it. And the hard thing for me is I'm not as well traveled as I would like to be, and I'm probably not as well traveled as many of you. But Tether is the only thing that matters outside of the States. And everybody I talk to, if I have a call in Asia, if I have a call anywhere else, it's Tether. Nobody's saying you don't even hear the term USDC unless I bring it up. And so I think we are at the place where the velocity and the on-ramp for USDC is going to the moon. Coinbase just brought JP Morgan on. That's the meeting we had today with a monster streaming platform. That's all, they're like, oh, this is on. So they're hearing it today because they heard it from Wall Street. They don't care until they hear it from Wall Street. And I think this is like American arrogance that we need to kind of release, because this is going to turn into a much broader economy. And I think it goes even further beyond stablecoins. Like everything in the New York Stock Exchange has to be undervalued, because we're not antiquated to what the people in Africa are, if they're not connected to the internet. They don't get to invest in NVIDIA, they don't get to put liquidity into there, and their vote is kind of unheard and unchecked. And I feel like in the States we've kind of built these barriers to where you have to be in this certain echelon to participate and have a certain amount of knowledge to participate. And we've kind of got to open it up, and we even need to be more open-minded to what these new currencies look like. And I would love to see Tether more heavily integrated in things in the States. Half of you probably have the if Tether goes, Bitcoin goes energy.
Yeah.
And that could be true, but they're like the largest by market cap. And so like, if they go, then a lot of things are going. And so I don't know where it heads, but I feel like right now what I'm seeing is just internationals, Tether, no question. It's not even up for debate. It's called USDC. I mean, it's US. That is what it is, and we are fighting for the dollar to continue to proliferate the way it has. I don't know if it will. We'll see. I really don't have a strong opinion either way.
I don't know that I have a strong opinion, but I do have some facts and figures that are interesting just to think about. Do your own research, right, kind of thing. So USDC is sort of an inside-out play. As you said, it's compliant here in a way that Tether is not. It's got Coinbase that's in charge of distribution. They get like 50%, I think, of Circle's revenue, 50. Yeah. So that's a huge incentive, and they are, the company that is going to be the front door that brings a lot of people, especially in the Western world, on chain. On the other hand, you've got before there were stablecoins, most cryptocurrencies, they settled against Bitcoin and then Ether. And Tether changed the game. It is the most commonly paired and traded cryptocurrency in the world. And everyone else, Binance, etc., are pushing Tether. But I think there's a possibility, so that's like the outside in play, that eventually if the rest of the world uses us, the US will adopt us too. And I think that could be like a direct competition market. But I also think somebody like Polygon comes to mind, because they're making this bet on a new stablecoin called Agora. A lot of people are launching stablecoins right now. They have a hard time getting traction because they have a hard time attracting liquidity. Somebody like Polygon or somebody like Stellar, who is huge, Tron likes USDT, but somebody who wanted to compete. Polygon, they've got this huge ecosystem, the oldest L2. They could say to someone like Agora, hey, let's make our stablecoin a loss leader. And you will rely on our ability to create distribution, and we will rely on you to help us share the yield. I think that kind of vehicle could become a third competitor to grow the pie and bring more people on chain, especially people who care about yield. I think most people using stablecoins probably don't. They just care, like, do I have a currency that's not going to use value that I can share with somebody without anyone's permission? More people right now have access to the internet than clean drinking water, almost. It's very close. And like 42% of stablecoin users, I think, are using it for micropayments. And this is just USDC and USDT. So that's a huge part of the population. But I think increasingly when people wake up to the benefits, especially if there is an option that they can treat like a savings account that is less risky, I think that could become a third viable option. But I don't know. Tether, in my mind, is they're the one to beat.
Yeah, they're probably like 6-7x bigger than USDC, that's for sure. I like where the stablecoin conversation is going. I think that people will end up hiding the wires, so to speak. When you guys get online, you guys see the hypertext protocol, right? HTTPS. You guys seen that before, right?
Yep.
That is, no one talks about it. No one needs to understand it. It's sending your data from one server to the next, right? And this helps facilitate the internet, and this protocol has, you guys don't have to learn about it, interact with it, nothing. It's just in the background and it's happening. And when they hide the stable coins from you, you got Robinhood still doing settlements on Sundays with stable coins. And the only reason they're able to do that is because we don't even know about it. I think if we all had to go on there, trade our stock, and do it with stable coins, it wouldn't even happen. They would have zero trading on Sundays then. So it's just something to think about, hiding that. As we get closer to the end of this panel, I wanted to offer the mic to both of you guys. If you guys have anything interesting, anything you guys want us to look out for, this is your chance to shill, but this is also your chance to throw some alpha out there in regards to the stablecoin RWA subject, Bitcoin, whatever you guys need.
I just want to echo what he said on the last question. I think the biggest thing to bring on liquidity and to provide new usership is we have to hide these rails. I've been onboarding people to crypto. One of my best friends, first Bitcoin I ever sent him was in Coinbase had just opened. I sent him a half Bitcoin. He still sends me screenshots. It's very painful. And he's like, hey, you sent me this and it was $50 or whatever. And I was like, man, that hurts. But we're still sending each other like these apps that are out of the beaten path. We're still using all this language, and I think that's what has to change. Nobody talks, like we're here building the railroads, and they're built. Now nobody that's riding the railroads knows how to build the railroad.
Right.
And we are still talking to everybody like they're railroad engineers, and we have to stop. It's just never going to happen. And like, how many of you even knew? Serious question. What was hypertext protocol? How many knew what that stood for?
I know he knew. Yeah, he was like, yeah.
2, 3 people, 4 people. Like nobody knows what that even means, and that's what we have to get to with crypto onboarding. Otherwise, the words and it's too obtuse. There's too many things. There's too many rails. So my alpha is, you're here. Stick with it. Keep making connections. And you guys, the sky is the limit for like everybody in this room. You are the foundation of this entire new financial infrastructure, and how lucky are we to be a part of this at the very beginning. It's really, we had a conversation about it this morning over breakfast, and it's almost as if it is 1660 and the stock markets were embedded in 1650. We're 10 years in. Maybe it's a little more accelerated and it could be 30 years, but these currencies and these rails are the future, and you all already know it, and it's our job to make people feel comfortable here. Mm-hmm. And we're all getting better at it ourselves, having these conversations. And I think a lot of times what we're doing is we're saying things out loud. We don't always really internalize and believe all the ideas we're sharing. We're trying to find which ones. It's like trying something on was a good thing that Mad Butter from the AI Art Today community said. It's like trying a suit on. See if it fits. Is it a little tight? Is this idea a little tight here? Is tether really it? Let's talk about it. Yeah. And I think these conversations are what's going to continue to lead the industry, but you guys are the leaders. You guys, we have IP over here from Apes. It's on. The POG team is here. Like, it is over. It is time to start onboarding people with regular everyday language and remove and hide the rails and the lexicon that have been intense to consume and understand. And like I said, my mom, I got to get my mom to be able to make on-chain payments all day without knowing, and until that happens, we're missing out on massive amounts of liquidity. So my thing to all of you all is, think about the future far ahead. Stop thinking about 5 years, 10 years. Start thinking about what it looks like when we're down to the last several 100,000 Bitcoins and what that looks like in mining. Where's that power coming from? Mm-hmm. Is that uranium? Is it all nuclear? Because there's no other answer. So start thinking further ahead and building those timelines, because the information asymmetry that we have right now is uncalculable advantage, and there's so much potential here. So just keep going and give you guys yourselves a pat on the back for even making it to this point. It's been if anybody's been here for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, it's been a long road. And I can tell by you talking, you've been here the whole time. It's a pleasure to sit here with you.
Not as long as you, but I feel old sometimes. My final thought or ask would be that beyond money, crypto, I like to tell people when they ask me, because most of them understand the most notorious use case, which is money. If all blockchain did was change money, that would be enough. But it is a general purpose technology, like electricity, like language. It is an entire new medium in which people will be able to, in novel ways, align their values and coordinate at scale. The same way that your smartphone does so much more than calls, crypto will be so much more than currency. And I would ask you to think about that and let it sit with you. If you don't think about it that way, that's okay. But I find it's very difficult to argue against that. And I think the tool of money is an example. My God, what a terrible, inefficient, archaic way to distribute the resources of Earth. Like, Earth's resources are limited, yeah, but they're abundant. There's enough water and food and land for everybody many times over. But you got to go to some bullshit job to pay your rent? Like, how inefficient is that? I think that as crypto accelerates and people understand it is a medium, they will use it to express identity. They will use it to tell stories. They will use it to make meaning about value in entirely novel ways. Right now, we're doing it for things that we have already done before, but that is the direction we're moving. It seems, all things equal, inevitable. So I would ask you to remember that you are telling a story about crypto with everything you say, with everything you don't say, everything you pay attention to, choose to amplify or ignore. And telling a better story is really up to all of us. When somebody comes to you and says, hey, how do I trade cryptocurrency? You can meet them right where they are. They don't understand that this is going to be more than money yet. They need to know before they buy a token that's going to do 100x how to buy, how to sell, how to store, how to swap, bridge cryptocurrency, how to custody it themselves, how to turn it back into cash. That's exactly right. And those are great places that we can start that are probably better than telling somebody like, hey, have you heard about this token yet? You know what I mean? And that's the kind of skill set that whatever this new medium becomes will benefit them and set them up to capitalize on the future. So thanks for giving us your most valuable asset, your attention.
That's right. Tell a better story. Hey, I could not have chosen a better two co-hosts for this panel. Can you guys please make some noise for these guys right here?
Thank you. Happy to be here.
All right. So we're going to break into an intermission, you guys, and we're going to come back for Growing with AI panel. It's going to be a really, really good panel hosted by Brittany. We got Ashley and Young Crypto Snaps co-hosting with her. If Profits is in the building, she's also